Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube. As we take a look at college football best bets for this Saturday, Kevin Rogers and Brian Edwards with you. And Brian coming off a 2-1 weekend last Saturday and looking to repeat it again this week. He had South Carolina and Kentucky as winners. So this week we're going to take a look at two games involving SEC teams. And the first one, Brian, the Swamp, Alabama, Florida, Saban, Mullen, and the Crimson Tide, a 2-touchdown favorite, 14.5, in fact, the number for Alabama. Do the Crimson Tide continue their roll, or do the Gators get them this week?
Well, let's start with the total because that's my best bet, and I'll have more on the total, and it's an overplay. These teams combined for 98 in Atlanta on December 19th of this past year. Now, both teams have lost a lot of offensive weapons, but Florida's offense, now I know it's only a 2-game sample, and USF and FAU aren't necessarily the most stout defenses in the country, although FAU did have a really good defense, actually, last year against mostly Conference USA competition. But Florida leads the nation in rushing yards so far. Again, granted, against two soft opponents, but they're third in the nation in total yards. In other words, they should have more points than they've had so far. They've failed on fourth down inside the red zone a couple of times. But Christopher Allen, the star linebacker for Alabama, he's out for the season. Bama linebacker Will Anderson got chop blocked against Mercer last week, limped off with a knee injury. Now, Saban was just quoted here Wednesday morning saying that he did practice yesterday, and that he's day-to-day, whatever that means. But also Ventrell Miller, the Florida linebacker, leading tackler last year, third-team All-SEC selection. He was injured in the USF game. He left. The school has not said anything, or as of, within the last hour, they have not said anything. But I don't think he's going to be able to play, and there's a lot of smoke, if you will, about him possibly having season-ending surgery yesterday, but there's no confirmation or official word on that. But I don't think Ventrell Miller will be available for the Gators, which hurts their defense. And Bryce Young has been pretty fantastic so far, and we know Alabama is going to score points. They had 31 in the first half against Mercer. They had 44 against Miami, but they kind of took their foot off the accelerator pretty early in that game. So I think we go over. I think this number is going to keep going up. You might be able to still get a 59.5 out there, but go ahead and get it ASAP because I think it gets into the 62-ish range, maybe even all the way up to the key number of 63. I like the over.
Okay, so like the over between the Crimson Tide and the Gators. Now, what about the side on Saturday at the Swamp?
So Bryce Young is making his first career road start in the Swamp. This is the first full capacity crowd of any significance since 2019. It's sold out. The tickets are very hard to come by. It's going to be packed, loud atmosphere. And look, Florida played Alabama extremely tough last year. They cut the deficit at 35-31 late third. And every time Alabama extended the lead, Florida came right back and cut it to one possession. It was a one-possession game most of the fourth quarter. And I know Florida lost a lot of weapons, but I'm actually of the thinking that Florida is better this season. I mean, that only time will tell. But this kid, Anthony Richardson, man, woo, boy, is this guy an absolute superstar. So last week, 3 pass attempts, 3 completions, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 4 rushing attempts, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown. He pulled up with a hamstring. They're calling it a grade 1 strain. But Nick Delatorre, Florida beat writer, tweeted about an hour ago that he practiced Monday and yesterday and that he's good to go. And he's continuing to get treatment on the hamstring, but he's feeling good. And I think he can cause a lot of problems for Alabama's defense. Now, Emory Jones is going to start. They'll both play. And Emory has had some bad interceptions here, but he's also still running the ball and running it very well. And I think Florida is going to be able to score a lot of points on Bama. I think Bama is going to be able to score a lot of points as well, but I will take Florida catching 14 and change. You might still be able to get a 15, and who knows what this number does the rest of the week. For the spread purposes, assuming the information that I've been hearing on Ventrell Miller is accurate, I hope the news comes out that he's out, because maybe that would give us a half point more for the Gators. But I'm breaking a rule, man. I always bet on Bama pretty much on a weekly basis, except when they're laying 40 plus like last week. But I broke the rule to have the Gators plus 17 in Atlanta last year, and it worked, and I'm going to do it again here. But again, full disclosure, I like the over for more. And I'm not against a little baby play on the Gators on the money line, especially if you can get plus 500.
So Brian Edwards likes the Gators this week, plus the points against the Crimson Tide, and also the over in this matchup Saturday in Gainesville. Now in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, Saturday night of whiteout, Penn State and Auburn. And the rumors, James Franklin could be looking at the USC job, but he still has an important game to coach on Saturday against the Auburn Tigers. And both teams coming out at 2-0 so far. Both teams ranked. Should be a big game. Big Ten and SEC. Who do you like in this one with Penn State laying less than a touchdown to Auburn?
Yeah, perfect timing for Auburn with all this James Franklin to USC rumors, and awful timing for him as it's September 15th. He's got a lot of interviews with the local media to be asked about this over the next 2 months and change. Again, K-Raj, I'm breaking another rule. The home away dichotomy with Bo Nix is astounding. He's horrible on the road and he's great at home. However, most quarterbacks that start as a true freshman and, you're still pretty young as a true sophomore, it's kind of expected that you struggle on the road and that you're way better at home. Bo Nix is now a junior. He now has a new, coach, play caller. He's not running Gus's offense anymore. It's all a bunch of new stuff, and he's more mature. And I think he's ready to snap out of his road woes. But even more important, I think, is just the running back combination that Auburn has. Everybody knows Tank Bigsby is one of the best in the country, a bruising between the tackles runner. And now they've got this true freshman burner in Jarquez Hunter, who is a big-time speedster. And look, coming in the season, I thought Auburn's defense was going to be really good. We don't really know anything about Auburn from playing Akron and Alabama State, Akron being a bottom 5 FBS team out of 130, in my opinion, and then Alabama State being an FCS squad. But I think this Auburn's defense is going to be good. Again, I mean, look, they've been really good on defense for many years now. And I think this is going to be a nail-biter. We've seen Penn State's offense, obviously struggle against Wisconsin. Two good defenses, probably a low-scoring game, but I'm going to go with Auburn plus the 6. If your number is 6.5, if you can get a 6.5 and buy the half point to 7, always recommend that. But I think Auburn's got a good chance to win, and I like them as a dog.
So to review Brian's best bets for Saturday, he likes the Gators plus the points against Alabama, also the over in that game between UF and Bama. And also he's going to take the points with the Auburn Tigers on Saturday night as they travel to Penn State to take on the Nittany Lions. Brian coming off a 2-1 Saturday last week on this best bet video, so we'll see if he can do it again. Brian, thanks so much for the time. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, K-Raj.
That is Brian Edwards. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching our Saturday edition of the College Best Bets right here at VegasInsider.com.